All right, guys. Today we're gonna do a small demonstration on how do I splice wires myself, especially when I'm doing things on a car, close to a carpet, and wires that are gonna, probably receive some flexing, some pulling, some squashing, some, when you're dealing with vehicles flex, vehicle move, and wires get stretched and all that kind of stuff, right? Therefore, I personally do not trust anything other than actual soldering the actual wires. Okay, and what we're gonna do today is exactly that. I'm gonna demonstrate how I do it, the tools that I use, and some tricks and some tips on how to protect your carpet and whatnot. First thing first, let's go through the materials. I normally use a torch because it's very mobile. You can take it anywhere around the car and whatnot. And there's two settings that I use normally with this, and I'm gonna talk about that later. So we're gonna have the torch. We're gonna have a crimper, cutter. Excuse me, this is not a crimper. Well, it's a crimper, but it's actually a splicer. We're gonna use we might use the needle nose pliers. In certain occasions on your car, you're gonna have to do this and hold them and pull them and whatnot. You might have to use some of these that hold the cables together. I personally don't. But you sure as hell are gonna use this, which is what I use to apply the rosin. Solder of different kinds. I use different kinds depending on the work. Like, for example, this one in particular with a core rosin I use for smaller work, for thin wires. This one is the one that I normally use for, somewhat like 14s and above, 12 gauge and above. No, actually 14. Yeah, 14, 16, 14s, 12, 8, and so on. I use this one, same thing. Where is, some shrink tape. When I'm working on really thin wires, then I use this machine, and I got two settings. I got the really small tip for really thin wires, and the thicker tip that I made myself to weld a little bit thicker gauge, but not thick enough to be like a 16 or above. This machine actually is made to kind of like melt and weld kind of like little pieces of wire on plastic to weld plastic, and then you kind of like sand it down and then put some plastic on top and cover, pretty much welding plastic. I use it for soldering. It's just perfect because I can really go really small with it, and I can control the temperature as I want to in presettings. It's pretty cool. I got another one, it's digital, but it's downstairs. So this one I'm not going to use today because I'm not going to be soldering thin wire, but I will be showing pretty much, I already pre-cut some of the wires that I'm going to be splicing, and some of the wires that I'm going to be crimping and then soldering, and I'm going to explain why. And for that, things like that, this thick, I don't use this. I use my propane, or actually it's MAP gas, my MAP gas torch, but it's not the big one. It's like this small one, okay? And I'm gonna explain that one too and why. Then your rosin is very important. I mean, one of the most important things about soldering is having a good rosin, because you have to prep your metal before you can actually solder it. If not, the solder is not gonna grab. It's just gonna float on top of the metal. It's gonna be a pain. This is the most, if not the second most important after your solder material and your torch. This is very important. Without this, you're just gonna make messes. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick pause here to arrange my setup here to do the first demonstration. And one thing that I'm gonna also try is this new thing that is in the market. It's a solderless, crimpless, apparently like heat self-solder. I believe this is lead inside. It's definitely not tin, because tin needs more melting point to be able to solder. So I think there's got to be lead in there or something, some sort of metallurgy that apparently like solders the metals. And we're gonna try that. We're gonna use a regular crimper, and and then we're gonna compare this normal style, old style crimpers to join or splice is the technical word, the wires. This one is known in the market, and then my method, which is regular solder. So let me set up first the table, and then lastly we're gonna crimp and solder these cables for multiple reasons. I'm gonna sacrifice these two connectors just for your guys entertainment slash training. All right, let me do a quick pause. I'm gonna set up my table and then I'll explain. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is peel the end of the wire that we're gonna splice. And the first thing we're gonna splice and use to splice is gonna be this crimping connector, this little blue crimping connector. I do not like that, and I'll explain. The reason why is because I don't really see or trust the inside of it. The metal inside tends to be aluminum. The similar metals don't like each other, so eventually the copper is going to start to corrode when the electrons passes from one side to the other one, and it's going to start creating like a white powder of the aluminum, like a corrosion, and then it's gonna the connection eventually is going to start to degrade to the point that the connection is going to get lost or degrade to where you can cause problems, electrical problems, especially for electronics that depend on certain tolerance of voltage. This is just not for me, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Let me peel the wire, and then, you know, in essence, what you're gonna do, you know, I have, sadly enough, I ordered my tripod. Still, Amazon is failing me, but it is what it is. In essence, what you're gonna do, you're gonna grab your splicer as such. You're gonna hold a wire with one hand, and then you're gonna have it right. You're gonna measure right about where you wanna peel it. With these things, I normally peel about 3/8 of an inch, and I hold it right there about, you know, from this side. I hold it right here, and then I set it, and then I crimp it to where it actually peels it. This side is gonna hold it, and this side is gonna pinch and pull and peel it. Okay, I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, so I have had peeled already both sides. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to put one side in there. Let me straighten it up, and let me pause it real quick so I can use both hands to accommodate. Right, they are in there, not crimped yet. And what we're gonna use is that particular side of the crimper right there. That side of the crimper, the smaller one, okay? We're gonna use that to pretty much like create a depression in there. You know what? I should use my, where is my, yeah, I'm gonna use my, let me see how my bigger crimper. Yeah, I'm gonna use my bigger crimper just because it has a smaller section and it goes deeper, and I want to make sure that I am not biased and I actually crimp this correctly. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna apply the crimp. Guys, I had that in there. I crimped it hard, as you can see, and blip. Look at that. Let me see this side. Whoop, there it is. And this is the reason why I don't care for this. It's just stupid. Personally, you know, I just don't care for it. And I crimped it. I mean, I put them really in there, right? Like it was really in there. Crimped them hard. And it's just, to me, it's just like, yeah, I guess you could try over and over and over to get it right, and it will hold a little bit. But to me, this is just garbage. Toss that away. Next one up is this guy. So I'm gonna peel a little bit more of the wire just to leave more gaps so I don't cause any melting on the plastic, and I allow that to work like it's supposed to. 1 second. Okay, both wires are in. You know, I'm doing it this way and that way, like if you had a lot of wire. I know I don't have enough wire, and I could have just twisted and passed it through, but that it wouldn't be reality. Reality is that both wires would have been loose, and you're just going to go in one way and in the other way. I have set my torch as hot air. It has a I don't know if you guys can see it, but it has a restrictor that gets really hot, and gas passes through without the flame, but it passes really hot. The gases pass hot. It's like a blowtorch, and I use it that way. Every now and then I use it that way just to pretty much shrink the shrink tape. I don't use the flame. I use this setup, and then when I'm going to solder, I take this tip off and I leave it open and I use the actual torch. So, for example, there it is. As you can see, it's a hot tip and it's just blowing air. Okay, and I'm going to, move it around in a way where hopefully the center melts like it's supposed to, and not just the plastic. It smells like plastic a lot. Hopefully that's gonna hold. Well, again, I'm not using the flame. I'm just using hot air, and I just don't care for this, to be honest with you. This is just dumb. It looks like the center has molten, and let it dry. First things first. This looks like hot garbage. I don't care for it. This doesn't look good at all. Let me see. Let me apply heat on this side. Let me apply some of that, hot air. Yeah, this is not. Alright, kind of melting in there. Let's see. I don't know if you guys heard that, but look. That's a wet rag, and I'm going to explain that later. And this is aluminum. Alright, let me see. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Let's do a pull test to see how it holds. I think the plastic is going to hold it more than the solder, but look at this garbage. And again, garbage. This is literally, like, I consider this to be garbage. I don't care for it at all. Like this, I will never trust my car, the wiring of my vehicle, with something like this. This is to me, this is just a gimmick. It's just, I mean, I guess it held, but I don't know. I don't know. It's not for me. I'm going to, let me peel this real quick, and I'm going to demonstrate my way. Because, like, okay, here we go. Here's peeled again, and where is, okay, right about there. That's good. Okay, so what I do when I got two wires that I'm gonna splice, let's say, I have a plug that I caught, and I'm gonna start, wiring my plug to add power to whatever accessory. In this case, the video that I show you guys was the seats. What I normally do is, after I peel, the wires tend to be not, kind of loose, not like twisted, okay? And what I tend to do, let me pause so I can open the wires and show you how I do it. Okay, guys, so you saw the other two examples. Like I said, we're gonna split the wires, both of them. We're gonna sort of kind of go through the wires. These wires are gonna go through the other ones. We're gonna twist, and I'm gonna show you guys why I choose this way, because this way it's just guys, it's just gonna be the best way you guys splice wires for your vehicles. Period. There shouldn't be any other way. You shouldn't be choosing gimmicks. You shouldn't be trying, crimpers. I just don't trust that. You dab again with the rosin, the wires, like I explained, and we have it set for flame. Right, there it is. And I'm going to have my solder, enough solder out so I don't burn myself. And then we're gonna go in and out, and we're not gonna melt the solder. We're gonna heat the heat up the wire so the solder actually melts into the wire, and that's it. And if you notice, you see how shiny it is? That's what you want. You want shiny. So now let's cool it down with a little bit of water on my fingers. And let me demonstrate. Let me demonstrate why I choose this way. Let me make a knot here so the wires don't leave the plastic when I pull. Because I'm gonna pull, and I don't want the wires to leave the plastic when I pull, because I'm gonna show you guys why I choose this way and why you should learn and choose this way. Look at that. I'm gonna pull it. Yeah, good luck separating this, guys. This is why you should do it, period. No questions asked. I mean, this is living proof why you should solder when you are splicing wires and making your own harness and doing the things that I'm trying to show you guys to do, you know, which is learn how to do these things, add accessory. All right, guys, before I end up this particular session, I'm gonna redo again for the sake of process, right? And give you guys another example. I'm gonna peel that one. I'm gonna peel the other side that we're gonna splice. Those are two cables, right? And I'm going to have ready the string tape, like if we were going to do it for reals, right? We're gonna go in, make sure that string tape goes as far back as possible, blah blah blah, and then we're going to separate the strands a little bit. We're going to mix the strands together, give it a few twists, all right? And we're going to dab the wire with rosin. We're gonna have our solder ready. We're gonna set our torch to torch. And we're gonna solder away, okay? So first we're gonna burn the rosin. And again, I go in and out until I burn that rosin off. Wanna see that little smoke? There it is. Whoop. And here I go. I am actually warming the wire, not burning the solder in place. In and out, in and out, in and out, and there it is. You want to see shiny? You want to see it go into the wires. I'm gonna warm up a little bit better just to make sure, because the heat will pull it will pull whatever you're heating. It will pull the actual solder in place, and there you have it, guys. Freaking solid, right? And then we're going to, you know, coming from afar, we're gonna slide down to the solder section, the section that we put together with solder. We're gonna cover it, right? The splice. We're gonna cover the splice, and then we're going to set up our torch again with what we want, which is hot air. And then we're gonna set it back up. Shrink that tape. Look how awesome that is, man. Guys, nothing gets better than this. I've tried it all. I've tried it all because, you know, like, they're always coming up with some sort of gadget that apparently makes it better and simpler and faster. No, it doesn't. And there it is. I mean, there you go, both of them. Solid, fast, learn it. It's just, you learn this, you start making harnesses and wiring like you should. You put conduit on top of it, you hide it, you route it, and that's it. I hope this video, again, help you guys understand. First of all, this is not magic. Don't allow people make you believe that you can't do this. Yes, you can. It is that simple. Make sure that you use the right materials. Always rosin, dab it. You don't have to pack it. You just dab a little bit on top of it. You know, burn the rosin, and then apply your solder. Do not burn the solder into the wire. No, heat up the wire until the solder melts into the wire. Okay, and then you're gonna see the solder just blends with the wire. Take it off. You want to see that solder to be shiny, dude. You wear it until it cools. You pull it. It's not gonna come apart. Then you shrink the tape on top of it, and you are in business. Again, I hope you guys like this video. I hope this helped you guys to feel more comfortable on making these swaps and adding accessories and doing yourself your own wires without, like, you know, allowing somebody else to tell you otherwise or to make messes. You know, when you're working in your car and you're soldering and you're applying heat in places that you can burn and damage, use this. Use a wet rag. This is a wet rag, guys. Look, I'm going to make this really hot right now. It's gonna be really hot. Okay, you see how hot it is? Listen, you hear that? It's wet. Use a wet rag, and on top of the wet rag, whatever you're gonna solder, use a piece of aluminum. The aluminum is gonna suck that heat right away, and the wet rag is not gonna allow any droppings, anything to burn through your nice car, your carpet, or your seats or whatever. Use a wet rag. Use your aluminum plate. Solder on top of it. You will be fine. Okay. I hope you guys like it. Please subscribe. Please give me a like. Make comments. I mean, this is for you guys. This is me taking out of my time, out of my energy, and helping the community, helping you guys, and make you guys understand that you guys can do this. I learned it all by myself, watching others, watching my dad, watching my uncle, watching my friends. You can do too. If you have any questions, you know, hit that button, hit that subscribe button, go to comments, hit me up. I will try to answer as fast as you can. I do have a day job, so if I delay, please excuse me. Hey, you guys have a good day, good weekend, and we'll see you soon. I will be uploading another video tomorrow. It's gonna be a review on the awning that I put on the Hilux. I hope it helps you guys decide if you guys are gonna pull the trigger on a 270 degrees awning. Please stand by for that video. And for now, I'll leave you with this one. I hope it helps. Again, please subscribe. I'm sorry if I keep repeating it, but I need those subscriptions. I need you guys to help me, to help you. See you guys later, and be safe, okay? Go off-roading, go have fun, be cordial, be considerate with other off-roaders. No need to dust people around, you know. Just be cool out there and be safe, okay? Enjoy, and I see you soon out there on the roads. Bye.